Welcome to Basic Brewing Video. I'm James Spencer.
I'm Steve Wilkes.
This is a follow-up show. If you'll remember from our show called, what was it, Playing with Molasses?
Playing with Molasses.
We brewed a beer. We tasted a beer that I had brewed with molasses, and then we changed the ratio of cane sugar, table sugar to molasses to see what would happen. Well, we have those beers, and Steve has made something to go along with it.
Yep.
So first of all, let's talk about the beers.
Because that's what's important.
Yes, right. Do you want to serve the beers while we're...
Sure.
Okay, so this is the first beer, and this is the second beer.
Do I just... Is this just like a... To just suck on this? What is that?
It's a nipple of sorts. Now this is a keg fill.
This is great. I've actually never seen this.
This is like a... I can't remember what this is called, but this is a little gadget that you put on top from the liquid bread people. This is a... patent pending. Anyway, this is a thing that's got a little ball lock thing, and so if you're a kegger, you don't do that.
Do I do this or do I do this?
You just open it up. Twist off.
I'm difficult.
So anyway, you can charge your
great.
bottle with the CO2. Oh, it's coming up. All right, so what we got here, this is the first beer. This was, and you can get all the details of how to brew this beer on that Playing with Molasses episode. But it these two beers have the same malt bill. 10 pounds of Belgian pills, that's 4.5 kilograms of Belgian pills. 4 pounds of malted wheat, that's 1.8 kilograms of malted wheat. Then the first beer, this one, has 2 pounds of cane sugar added to the last 15 minutes of the boil. And I think that's like 907 grams. And then half a pound of original molasses, which is, I think, well, 1 pound is 453 grams, so cut that in half, and that's what Now, this is not molasses. This is not black strap. On this particular brand of molasses, it's called Original. You don't want anything with sulfur in it. This is basically just cane juice, I think they call it. So the first one is 2 pounds of cane sugar, half a pound of molasses. Okay. Then we changed it to a pound each. 1 pound of cane sugar and 1 pound of molasses. So we cut the amount of cane sugar in half and we doubled the amount of molasses. And
there's no difference in the kind of crystal malt or anything?
Nope.
And where I'm going with that is that this is noticeably darker beer.
Right.
So the color is different.
The molasses has definitely had an impact. This one's a little more cloudy, but it's bottle conditioned and it had a bumpy ride over here, so that might have something to do with it. So here we go. The first one was 9% alcohol by volume. The second one with more molasses is 8.4, I think.
Oh. That's good.
The first one has more, and same yeast. This is the White Labs 500. I think it's the Trappist ale yeast.
Well, there's a difference between those two beers, that's for sure.
The first one has a little bit more of a banana note on my nose, maybe.
Yeah, I get banana.
What do you think? I mean, your impressions, Sir Steve.
This one reminds me a lot. The more molasses, the heavier molasses one, reminds me a lot of drinking a Chimay Reserve, a Blue Label, I think. Really reminds me of that beer quite a lot. So that's a good thing in my book. I think they're both excellent beers. They're obviously very similar. This one's a little richer. I mean, if I had to, this is just a little bit richer, a little bit more of that kind of raisin, burnt sugar taste. Although it's not a burnt sugar like burnt sugar. I mean, it's just I'm struggling for the words. But this is like a triple. I'm trying to think of somebody's triple that it reminds me of.
It's a lighter, maybe New Belgium. It doesn't have any spices in it. The New Belgium triple does have spices.
I was going to say New Belgium Well, they're just darn good beers. I'm
This
kind
is
of at a
this is
loss.
more of kind of a an Avery Salvation, maybe, like a golden ale sort of.
Yeah.
More. This one, they're not as. The flavor is not as different as I would have expected.
No, but they're different. This is a little brighter. This is a little more dark fruit.
Darker. Both really tasty beers.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So don't be afraid of the molasses.
And really strong. I started my Foster Brooks impersonation.
So very tasty. Now, this brings us to the food portion of the show, where we're starting a new thing that we're gonna call
Brew a Pair.
Brew a Pair. I've challenged Steve to actually cook a pair, cook something to pair with these beers, and something with the molasses theme.
Yeah, the molasses was the theme because we went from a little bit of molasses to quite a bit more molasses, and we were
Right.
trying to hold together with that. So I thought candied bacon.
And who wouldn't?
And who wouldn't? So rather than, I know all of you candy your bacon. I know I candy mine. And but I made candied bacon with molasses.
Okay.
And so we made the bacon with a little molasses, and I used a little beer a little of my IPA to thin that down so it was easier to work with, and some hot chili powder, and just kind of rolled that all up in it, and baked it for 30 minutes in a 320 degree oven. That's our candied bacon. Now I want to tell you that I undercooked the bacon a little bit because we knew it was going to go on the pizza. Mm-hmm. I didn't want the bacon to be ultra crispy when it's set in a 425 degree oven. For
Twice cooked bacon.
Twice cooked. So the pizza is made with dough that I made, cheese that I made.
Right. You made cheese from scratch, and you made dough from scratch. You don't have to do that.
Nope.
Now we're not going to go into how to do that. But if you own the app, either for Android or iPhone or iPad, whatever.
Yep.
We did a behind-the-scenes video as a bonus feature for you guys. So if you have the app, go and look in the extras section and see how to do that.
That's right. You'll see how to make the cheese and how to make the dough. So I won't go into the details there, but once we had the dough, the cheese, the candied bacon, then it's just a matter of assembling it. So you roll the dough out. I did a olive oil infusion with some thyme and sage out of my garden, some garlic and some little Pekin peppers, which is the little hot chili pepper, and some anchovy, which is actually the salt that's in the pizza, as well as the bacon. Just painted that onto the dough, so that's the sauce. Layered some cheese on top of that, layered some caramelized red onion, or Bermuda onion.
How did you do that?
Well, a little bit of olive oil, slice the onion very thin, put that into a relatively warm pan with, again, some sage and some thyme out of the garden. And then I poured a little beer over that. I didn't measure, but just enough to give it just a little moisture. And about a teaspoon actually, of brown sugar. Mix it all up, and I let that cook down very slowly, probably for about 40 minutes. It was quite a long time.
It was time to have a beer.
It was time to have a beer, and maybe another. And so it cooked down, so it caramelized, and instead of being browned or cooked really heavily, oh my gosh, you can just eat those by themselves. So we layered the caramelized onion on top, layered the arugula and spinach, so that's the L of the BLT pizza. So a little arugula, a little spinach, layered the bacon on top, which I cut up into smaller pieces. I diced a tomato, kind of a rough chop of a Roma tomato, and layered that over the top. Put the whole schmear into an oven, a hot oven, 425 degrees Fahrenheit, and we'll have the Celsius for you. But a 425 degree Fahrenheit oven, and it actually went for 19 minutes. So I set it for 15 minutes on my oven. Of course, your oven will cook differently, but on my oven I set it for 15 minutes to see where it was at, and I just decided that it needed about four or five more minutes, and let it go. And here we have it. So let's cut it and try it.
So this has all the fat in milk and whipping cream.
Yes.
It has bacon. It has molasses. I was joking to Steve that all it's missing is tobacco. So
and we're working on that.
it's healthy.
But we'll see how we like this.
Well, I gotta have
And
molasses.
I have a feeling that we will.
I've got on my glasses for this. Oh my goodness. Brew a pear.
You may or may not want to try a fork.
I'm gonna be.
You're gonna go for it?
I'm gonna be adventurous here.
It's pretty thin crust. I rolled it out pretty thin. So obviously you can make the pizza crust as thick or thin or however you like it. I'm gonna use a fork.
I wear a napkin. That's just silly.
Call the police, lock me up. That's insane. That is insane.
That's good. Oh.
Yeah. Well,
I think we're done.
I think we're done.
Yeah, this is the last episode. We can't. There's no way to top that. Holy smokes.
That's pretty darn amazing pizza.
good.
You guys got to try this. Make this pizza at home. Have it for your friends. Have it for your family.
And the beer's not half bad either.
I'm telling you. Put it with this beer.
Which do you like? Which beer do you like better to pair with the pizza?
Both. I think I probably like the. I think I like the more molasses.
Yeah, I like the molasses flavor does come through more.
Yeah.
In the more molasses one, the other one is nice and light. I would say that this is more of a summertime beer. This is more of a fall/wintertime beer.
Which we're still in spring.
Yeah,
But
we're halfway between. Okay, we got stuff to do.
we're going to be busy people.
Try the pizza. We'll put the recipe on the website and in the app. Try the beer. Look at the previous episode, the Playing with Molasses. Don't be afraid of molasses. Just don't use the one that's blackstrap or that has sulfur or whatever. Try to, if you use Belgian candy sugar, substitute. Yeah. Do a small batch if you're not sure about it. Works just fine.
Well, I was really sincere when I said this stacks up right against that Chimay. It really does remind me of that a lot. So a poor man's Chimay.
There you go. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers. Happy brewing.
Come and visit us on the web. At basicbrewing.com, you can find archive lists of both our audio and video podcasts on home brewing. You can also find our DVDs, Extract Brewing and Partial Mashing, Stepping into All Grain, Low-Tech Lagering and Decoction Mashing, Introduction to Wine Kits, and our Basic Brewing Brewer's Logbook, where you can track and log up to 50 batches of beer. Drop us a line. We'd love to hear from you. Write to James at basicbrewing.com, Steve at basicbrewing.com, or just use the contact form on basicbrewing.com.
Candied freaking bacon.
She's playing tonight downtown.
She is.